Welcome back to Cooking Gluten and Dairy Free with Dave D. We're doing another meal prep video, but this time we're doing it Chipotle style. Now, I remember when I first had Chipotle, I thought it was the best fast casual food restaurant ever. The food was super fresh, they had great portions, it was affordable, and relatively healthy. Since then, a lot has changed, and they've gone through their fair share of controversy. First, it was the E. coli outbreak. Then, they hiked the prices. And on top of hiking the prices, they started to cut down on the portion sizes. And on top of all that, there's inconsistency from restaurant to restaurant. Now, the overall theme and approach to Chipotle, a balance of carbs, fiber, and protein is still good, but who wants to deal with all the BS that comes with it? But here comes my recipe for Chipotle at home, meal prep edition, gluten and dairy free, of course. We're making some juicy chicken and steak, leveling up the black beans by making them cheesy, and finally making that signature cilantro lime rice. Two benefits: we get to save some money, and we make our portions however we want. Chipotle at home, meal prep edition. Let's get down to business. So starting with our clean, boneless, skinless chicken thighs, put them in a large bowl for seasoning. Then add some seasoned salt, onion powder, garlic powder, adobo, paprika, chili powder, a touch of cayenne pepper, ground cumin, oregano, dry cilantro, avocado oil, and mix it all in. Now is a great time to mention that the exact ingredients and the exact measurements are in the description box below. Just above the description, though, are two very important buttons: the subscribe button and the thumbs up. Do me a favor and hit both. Subscribe makes it so you don't miss a video, and the thumbs up boosts my ego and helps with the algorithm. Also, stay tuned for the end for a channel update. When you're all done, the chicken should look like this. Now it's time for our secret sauce. We're going to grab a can of chipotle peppers and adobo sauce. We don't want this to be too spicy, so we're not going to put the peppers in it, only the sauce. Mix the sauce into the chicken. Now for another important step, marination. We want the chicken to marinate for no less than 2 hours, but the longer the better. I started my marination in the morning and then cooked in the evening. So it marinated for about 9 hours, and trust me, it was worth it. So throw the chicken in a Ziploc bag like you see me doing here. Squeeze all the air out and then put it in the fridge. Now we can work on our steak. I'm using top sirloin, but any steak should work for this. We're essentially going to repeat what we did for the chicken. I'm not going to put you through all that again, but we're seasoning the exact same way and then mixing the seasoning in, followed by adobo sauce. Throw it in a Ziploc bag and let it marinate for as long as we're marinating the chicken, so no less than 2 hours, but the longer the better. Now after marination, pull the meat out of the refrigerator so it can come up to room temperature while we work on our cilantro lime rice. So put some long grain rice in a strainer and give it a rinse under running water. Rinse it until the water runs clear. Once the water is clear, put your rice in the rice cooker. Now look at the directions on the bag and add the appropriate amount of water for the amount of rice you added. Now we're going to start infusing some of that flavor to mimic that Chipotle rice taste. Add some dairy-free butter. Add 3 bay leaves. Cover the rice and put it on cook. While it's cooking, we have a little bit of prep to do, so go ahead and finely chop some fresh cilantro. Go over it a few times with a knife so it's nice and fine. When you're done, it should look a little something like this. Now we can put our cilantro to the side while we work on our black beans. Add your black beans from a can to a pot on medium. Let it come to a gentle boil, being sure to stir occasionally. Now this part is up to you. I don't like my black beans to be runny, so I'm going to let it boil for a little while so some of that liquid comes off. So for about 5 to 10 minutes, being sure to stir occasionally so nothing sticks. If you like runnier beans, you can skip the extra 10-minute boil. Once the beans have reduced to your liking, we season. We're actually going to add some of the same seasonings that we use for the meat, minus the salt and adobo sauce. So season with onion powder, garlic powder, adobo, a touch of cayenne pepper, oregano, paprika, dry cilantro, ground cumin, and chili powder. Mix all the seasonings in. Reduce the heat to low and let it simmer for about 5 to 15 minutes, depending on how wet you want your beans. Then give it a taste test and adjust accordingly. To me, this right here is the perfect consistency, but I like it thick. but make it as you please. Now cut the heat. Now we're going to add some dairy-free Mexican style cheese. Add about half of the cheese and mix it in until it melts. Then add the second half and do the same thing. And boom, we just leveled up Chipotle's black beans. Now let's get back to our rice. Now ideally, as soon as the rice is done, we want to remove the lid and let it dry out for about 20 or 30 minutes before moving on to our next step. I skipped this step because I'm directing, I'm shooting, I'm producing this video, but do as I say, not as I do. You'll notice my rice is a little wet, but I'll just use the spoon to break up any rice that sticks together. Now let's remove the bay leaves and add some avocado oil. Stir it in. Next, add some salt. Stir that in. Add some lime juice. Stir it in. Now add about half of the cilantro from before and stir it in. Now add the rest of the cilantro and stir it in. And just like that, delicious cilantro lime rice that I would argue is better than Chipotle. But I'll admit, I'm a little biased. So now our beans are done and our rice is done, so it's time to make the meat. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees and grab a cast iron skillet and heat it on medium high. When it's smoking hot, add some 100% avocado oil. Now, add your chicken thighs, being sure to press it into the skillet so it develops some nice char on the outside. Cook it for about 1 to 2 minutes, or when it develops that nice color. Flip it and do the same thing on the other side. Now, remove it and put it on a plate. Warning, it's not fully cooked. Make the rest of the chicken the same way. Once it's all cooked, turn off the heat. Now, spray some oil on the bottom of the pan and return the chicken to the skillet. Be sure to add all the juiciness left over from the plate. Now, we're going to put the chicken in the oven to finish cooking for about 10 minutes, or when that internal temperature gets to 175. Now let's work on the steak. This is pretty much going to work the same exact way. Add the oil, cook on each side for 1 to 2 minutes until it gets some nice color, flip, and then do the same thing on the other side. Now, this is where it gets different. We all like our meat cooked to a different doneness. So I'll put a chart down below in the description, but for my people who like it rare or medium rare, you might be able to skip the oven step. But if you like it medium or more, put it in the oven for about 5 to 10 minutes. Make sure to check that internal temperature so it cooks to your desired temperature. I'm giving times, but these are just estimations, and make sure it cooks to the temperature you want. When the chicken is at 175 and the steak is at your desired temperature, pull it from the oven and let it rest for about 10 minutes. Now we're going to cut the steak into bite-sized pieces. Look at this perfection. Now let's do the same with the chicken. I'm telling you right now, I barely had to do any work with the knife. So tender, so juicy. Just a quick reminder, hit the thumbs up and hit the subscribe if you haven't already. And now we play. But guess what? We get to do this however we want. I'm a high protein guy, so I'm going with a little bit of rice, a decent amount of black beans, but we're piling that meat high. Take notes, Chipotle. And there you have it, folks. Chipotle at home, meal plan edition, gluten and dairy free. Check out the description. We cooked a lot of food for meal prep, but feel free to scale that recipe down. And now for our quick channel update. We're now at 500 subscribers, so I want to thank all you for watching. And now that I know people are actually interested in my little recipes, I'm going to do my best to commit to at least a new recipe a week. And being more consistent, showing my face, all that good stuff. So again, please subscribe, leave a positive comment, spread the word. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.